The small intergalactic convenience store flickered under the dim glow of neon lights, casting colorful shadows against the metal shelves cluttered with an odd assortment of goods. The air was thick with the stale scent of old coffee, mingling with the faint aroma of synthetic snacks that had long passed their expiration dates. Alex Rodriguez, the weary clerk, stood behind the counter, his eyes scanning the empty aisles as he prepared to close for the night. It had been another long shift, filled with bizarre customers and unending monotony, but somehow, he felt a strange attachment to this little corner of the universe. He glanced at the clock on the wall, its ticking sound echoing in the quiet store, reminding him that it was almost time to lock up. Just a few more minutes, he muttered to himself, wiping down the counter for what felt like the 100th time that evening. He was lost in thought, considering how the day had unfolded, how the usual rush had been replaced by an eerie stillness. The only thing interrupting his thoughts was the occasional hum of the overhead lights, a reminder of the life that persisted even in this desolate stretch of space. As he finished his tasks, a chill ran down his spine, an unsettling sensation that something was amiss. He shook it off, attributing it to fatigue. After all, he had seen strange things during his time here, aliens with odd customs, peculiar requests, and even the occasional space pirate trying to barter with outdated technology. But nothing could have prepared him for what awaited later that night. With a deep breath, Alex grabbed the keys from his pocket and made his way to the front door. The store had seen better days, and although it was not much, it was his little haven. It became a part of him, a sanctuary filled with memories of late-night shifts and the friends he had made along the way. After locking the door, he paused, staring at the neon sign that flickered above. Open, it read, but soon it would switch to closed. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he said to the empty aisles, chuckling at his own silliness. It was a habit he had developed, talking to the store as if it were a confidant. Suddenly, a strange noise pierced through the stillness outside, a low, rumbled sound that sent a ripple of unease through him. His heart raced as he instinctively peered through the small window beside the door. The night was dark, the stars twinkling like distant diamonds against the velvet sky, but nothing seemed out of the ordinary. Just the quiet emptiness he was accustomed to. Probably just the wind, he reassured himself, shaking his head. But as he turned away, the unease settled deeper in his chest. The store felt different somehow, as if it were holding its breath, waiting for something or someone. He returned to the counter, trying to shake off the feeling that had settled over him like a heavy blanket. As he began to tidy up, he couldn't help but think of the unusual customers he had encountered earlier that day. There had been the tall, blue-skinned alien who insisted on buying a dozen cans of energy drink, claiming it would enhance his telepathy. Then there was the short, green one who demanded a specific brand of toothpaste, which Alex had never heard of before but had managed to find in the back of the store. Each encounter had added to the strangeness of his day. Just as he was about to grab his jacket from the back room, a sudden crash echoed outside, followed by a flurry of footsteps. The sound was frantic, almost desperate. Alex's blood ran cold. He quickly dashed back to the door, peering out again. The street was still empty, but he could swear he saw a shadow flit past the edge of the building. His heart raced in his chest, and he felt the urge to retreat further into the safety of the store. He glanced back at the clock. It was time to finish up and head home, but something, a nagging instinct, held him in place. The store felt like it was alive, vibrating with energy as if anticipating the unknown. He shook his head, trying to dispel the creeping paranoia. Maybe he needed more sleep. Maybe he just needed a break from the grind. As he began to gather his things, the doorbell chimed, startling him. He turned to look, and there stood a nervous alien, small and hunched over, with large eyes that darted around the store. Excuse me, the alien stammered in a shaky voice. I need some supplies. Sure, Alex replied, forcing a smile as he leaned against the counter. What can I help you with? The alien shuffled forward, glancing back toward the door as if expecting someone to follow. I need food. Something safe. And it hesitated, biting its lip. And a way to hide. Alex raised an eyebrow, intrigued yet cautious. Hide? From what? Is everything okay? The alien's eyes widened, panic flickering across its features. No time. Just, please, I need help." It was clear that this creature was in distress, and as Alex looked closer, he could see the signs of fear etched into its small frame. Okay, he said, trying to put the alien at ease. "Let's figure this out." Alex motioned for the alien to follow him as he led them to the back of the store. He felt a strange sense of purpose swell within him. Maybe this night wouldn't be as mundane as he anticipated. As they moved deeper into the store, the tension in the air thickened. Alex realized he had crossed some invisible threshold into a world of uncertainty. The hum of the lights seemed to grow louder, and the shadows around them felt more pronounced. He could hear the alien's quickened breaths, matching the rapid thump of his own heart. "Leave a like to help the channel grow," he joked lightly, trying to ease the palpable tension in the air. But the alien only looked at him, wide-eyed, as if the weight of the universe rested on their shoulders. "Please, just hurry," the alien urged, glancing nervously at the door. The urgency in its voice fueled Alex's determination. Something was happening, and he had unwittingly become a part of it. As he locked the back door, the world outside faded away, leaving only the two of them in the dimly lit store. They stood on the threshold of something unknown, ready to face whatever awaited them. Little did Alex know, this would be a night that would change everything. As Alex stood in the dim light of the convenience store, the unease that had settled in his chest continued to claw at him. He shook his head, trying to dismiss the strange noises from earlier as nothing more than a figment of his imagination. It was just another quiet night, or so he thought. The flickering overhead lights buzzed softly, and the faint scent of stale coffee lingered in the air, serving as a reminder of the long hours he had spent behind the counter. Just as he was about to return to his mundane task of organizing the shelves, a sudden crash outside jolted him alert. The sound resonated through the stillness, followed closely by hurried footsteps that echoed against the pavement. Alex's heart raced, and he instinctively moved to the front window, peering out into the dark. The street was eerily quiet, but shadows danced at the edge of his vision, making him feel as if he were being watched. "Probably just the wind," he muttered under his breath, attempting to rationalize the chaos of his thoughts. Before he could shake off the feeling, the doorbell chimed unexpectedly, breaking the tension that had enveloped him. He turned, a mixture of curiosity and caution swirling in his chest. The door swung open, revealing a small, hunched figure. An alien. It was unlike any customer he had encountered before. Its large eyes darted around the store, taking in every detail as if they were looking for a way to escape. Excuse me," the alien stuttered, its voice trembling slightly. I need some supplies." Alex forced a smile, despite the fluttering anxiety in his stomach. "Sure. What can I help you with?" He stepped closer, trying to gauge the creature's urgency. "I need food. Something safe." And it faltered, glancing nervously at the door as if expecting something or someone to follow. "And a way to hide." The word sent a chill down Alex's spine. Hide? From what? Is everything okay? He knew he shouldn't pry, but the fear in the alien's wide eyes compelled him to dig deeper. "No time," the alien insisted, its voice rising in pitch. "They're coming. Please, I need help." The desperation in its tone was palpable, and Alex felt a rush of empathy. He didn't know what was happening, but this creature was in distress, and he couldn't just turn it away. Okay, he said, trying to match the alien's urgency. "Let's figure this out." He motioned for it to follow him, and they moved deeper into the store, the fluorescent lights casting long shadows across the floor. As they reached the back, Alex could hear the alien's rapid breathing, mirroring the frantic beating of his own heart. The alien introduced itself as Zektar, and as they rounded a corner into the storage area, Alex quickly scanned the shelves, looking for anything that could help. "What kind of food do you need?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Anything that won't draw attention," Zektar replied quickly. "I can't stay out in the open." Alex nodded, his mind racing. He could hardly believe the situation unfolding before him. An alien, in his store, seeking refuge from an unknown threat. "I have some canned goods and snacks. They should be safe enough." He gestured toward the shelves filled with various items, trying to keep the conversation flowing. "How did you end up here?" Is someone after you? Zektar glanced nervously at the door again, its body tense. I was on my way home, but they found me. I had to escape. The alien's voice trembled, and Alex felt a surge of protectiveness. Whatever was happening outside, he needed to keep Zektar safe. Leave a like to help the channel grow, Alex said, trying to lighten the mood. He chuckled awkwardly, but Zektar didn't respond, its expression grave. The urgency of their situation wasn't lost on him. As they hurriedly gathered supplies, Alex couldn't shake the feeling that time was running out. The store, once a mundane oasis of snacks and drinks, now felt like a fortress against an encroaching threat. He handed Zektar a bag of chips and a couple of energy bars, hoping they would suffice. Here, take these. They should help. Zektar took the items, its eyes wide with gratitude. Thank you, but we need to find a place to hide. They won't stop until they find me. Alex hesitated, glancing toward the front of the store. The door was still locked, but he could hear distant sounds outside, shouts, clattering, and a low rumble that sent shivers down his spine. He felt the weight of the decision before him. Should he help Zektar? Should he risk everything for a stranger? Okay, he said, determination settling in. We'll barricade the back, and if anyone comes in, we'll be ready. He moved to the storage area, grabbing boxes and cans to create a makeshift barricade. As they worked together, the tension in the air grew thicker. Alex felt an odd sense of camaraderie with Zektar. Despite the fear, there was something about the alien's presence that made him feel alive. This was not just another boring night at the convenience store, this was an adventure. Do you have a plan? He asked, glancing over at Zektar, who was now stacking boxes with surprising efficiency. I have a way to communicate with others, Zektar replied cautiously. But I need to be hidden first. They can't find me here. What do you mean, communicate? Are there others like you? Alex asked, intrigued by the thought of a larger world beyond his small store. Yes, but they're far away. I can't reach them until it's safe. Zektar's expression turned serious again. Please, we must hurry. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the front of the store, making both of them freeze. Alex's heart raced as he exchanged a glance with Zektar. The invasion was happening, and he was caught in the middle of it, no longer just an observer but a participant in a battle for survival. Let's go! Alex whispered urgently, and together they rushed to the back, reinforcing their barricade just as he heard the unmistakable sound of footsteps approaching. The adrenaline surged through him as he realized the magnitude of what was unfolding. He had locked the door at closing time, but now he was ready to face whatever was coming. The store was their sanctuary, and together, they would defend it. As Alex and Zektar settled into their makeshift refuge, a tense silence enveloped the store. The flickering fluorescent lights overhead cast an eerie glow, and the air was thick with the scent of spilled coffee and the faint metallic tang of fear. Alex could feel the weight of the moment pressing down on him, suffocating and yet exhilarating at the same time. He had locked the door at closing time, but now that simple act felt like it had sealed them into a world of chaos. Zektar's large, expressive eyes darted around the room, scanning for threats. The alien's skin shimmered under the fluorescent lights, a deep shade of blue that seemed to pulse with its heartbeat. Alex watched him, surprised at how quickly he had fallen into a rhythm of cooperation with someone so different from himself. Do you think they're coming? Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. Zektar nodded, its features tightening with anxiety. They will come. They are relentless, it said, its voice trembling slightly. We can't stay out in the open. We must hide. The alien's urgency was palpable, pushing Alex to action. The distant sounds of commotion outside, the shouts, the crashes, the low rumble of something massive moving grew louder, intensifying his sense of dread. He had never been one to shy away from challenges, but this was a different beast altogether. How did one prepare for an invasion? Leave a like to help the channel grow, he said, trying to lighten the atmosphere, though it felt forced. Zektar didn't respond, its attention focused entirely on the sounds outside. Let's barricade the back, Alex suggested, his mind racing. He turned towards the storage area, where boxes of snacks and drinks lined the shelves like a fortification.
Every item could serve a purpose. We need to make sure no one can get in here.
Together, they moved swiftly, grabbing boxes and cans, stacking them against the door leading to the store's back exit. Alex's heart raced as he thought about the potential danger lurking just outside. He had always found comfort in the predictability of his job, the routine of closing the store each night. Now, that routine felt like a distant memory, replaced by the adrenaline of impending confrontation.
What do you know about them?
Alex asked as he shoved another box into place.
Who's after you?
Zektar paused, its eyes narrowing.
They are a violent race, intent on conquest.
They seek to enslave my people, it replied, its voice low and strained. I escaped just in time, but they will not stop until they have me back. Alex felt a chill run down his spine at the gravity of Zektar's words. This wasn't just an invasion, it was a pursuit fueled by desperation and a thirst for power. We'll figure something out, he said, trying to sound more confident than he felt.
If we can hold them off long enough, maybe we can find a way to contact your people.
Communication is difficult, Zektar responded, its tone darkening.
I need a secure location to send a signal. But right now, survival is the priority.
The urgency of the situation settled over Alex like a heavy blanket. He had always viewed his job as mundane, serving customers, restocking shelves, dealing with the occasional irate shopper. But now, in this moment of crisis, he felt an unusual sense of purpose. He wasn't just a clerk anymore, he was a protector, standing alongside an alien who had become a friend, albeit under harrowing circumstances. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed from the front of the store, causing both of them to freeze. The sound of shattering glass and heavy footsteps filled the air, making Alex's heart race. They're here, he whispered, panic rising in his chest.
Quick! We need to hide.
Zektar urged, its voice sharp with urgency. Together, they ducked behind the towering shelves of snacks, breathing quietly, their hearts pounding in unison. Alex's mind raced as he tried to assess their options. They could fight, they could hide, or they could try to escape through the back exit, but that would mean risking everything. Peeking through the gap in the shelves, Alex caught a glimpse of the front door.
Shadows loomed just outside, moving with purpose.
He could hear muffled voices, commands being barked in a tongue that was both alien and terrifying. It was a dialect filled with harsh consonants and guttural sounds, and it sent shivers down his spine.
What do they look like?
Alex whispered, turning to Zektar, who was tense beside him. They are tall, with dark skin and elongated limbs, Zektar replied, its voice barely a breath. They will not show mercy. Alex swallowed hard, the weight of dread settling in his stomach.
We can't let them find us. We have to stay quiet.
As the footsteps grew louder, Zektar leaned closer to Alex, its eyes wide with fear. They are searching for me, it said, its voice trembling slightly. If they discover you are helping me, they will not hesitate to harm you. The thought made Alex's stomach churn. He had never considered the possibility of facing such danger, not in the comfort of his store. But now, as he crouched in the shadows, he felt a surge of determination.
He wouldn't let Zektar down. They were in this together.
Suddenly, the door burst open, and a figure stepped inside, tall and imposing, its features obscured by a helmet. The alien scanned the store, its gaze sweeping over the aisles, searching. Alex held his breath, willing himself to remain invisible.
Zektar, the alien barked, its voice booming. You cannot hide from us.
Alex felt Zektar tense beside him, and a surge of protective instinct rose within him. This wasn't just about survival anymore, it was about standing together against an enemy that threatened everything they cared about.
Get ready, Alex whispered, gripping a can of soup tightly.
If it comes to it, we'll fight.
Zektar nodded, its eyes narrowing in determination. We will not go down without a fight. The tension in the air was thick as the alien continued searching, its footsteps echoing against the tile floor.
Each moment stretched into eternity as Alex and Zektar remained hidden, waiting for the right moment to act. Then, suddenly, the alien turned, and Alex caught a glimpse of its features, sharp, menacing, with glowing red eyes. Fear coursed through him, but alongside it was a flicker of courage. They would confront this invasion together, and no matter the outcome, Alex would not back down. "Let's do this," he said, voice steady despite the fear. With a nod from Zektar, they prepared themselves, ready to face whatever came through that door, united against the threat that sought to tear them apart. As the lights flickered and the store plunged into darkness, a cold wave of panic washed over Alex. He stumbled in the pitch black, his heart racing as he fumbled for the flashlight he kept under the counter. The sudden silence was overwhelming, a stark contrast to the usual hum of the store's refrigeration units and the faint buzz of the neon signs. He cursed under his breath, the weight of the unknown pressing heavily on his chest. "Just great," he muttered to himself, wishing he could shake the feeling of impending doom that settled in the pit of his stomach. He finally managed to find the flashlight, its beam illuminating the immediate area around him. Shadows danced along the walls, creating eerie shapes that seemed to mock his fear. He scanned the store, half expecting to see an alien or some monstrous figure lurking in the corners. The thought sent a chill down his spine. He had always dismissed the bizarre stories shared by customers, the intergalactic horror tales that seemed far-fetched in the safety of daylight. But now, alone in the dark, those stories felt all too real. Then came the sound, a rattling at the front door, followed by a voice calling for help. The urgency in the voice sent a jolt of adrenaline through Alex. He could hear the tremor in the tone, desperation mixed with fear. "Is someone there? Please, let me in." The voice was distinctly alien, a mixture of clicks and tonal shifts that sent his mind racing back to his earlier conversation with Zektar. "What if it's a trap?" he whispered to himself, glancing toward the door. The thought crossed his mind that perhaps this was a ploy to lure him out, to expose him as a protector of the alien. He took a deep breath, his instincts screaming at him to stay hidden. But the cries for help tugged at his conscience. He had just committed to protecting Zektar, and the idea of abandoning someone in danger felt like a betrayal. "Alex! Help!" The voice grew louder, more frantic. It was Zektar. He felt a rush of sympathy and fear collide within him. There was no time to think, he had to act. With a quick glance at the door, he made his decision. He dashed towards the entrance, his heart pounding as he reached for the lock. "Hang on. I'm coming," he shouted, trying to reassure Zektar. The rattling intensified, and he could hear the alien's frantic breathing on the other side. With a quick twist of the lock, he pulled the door open just enough to allow Zektar to slip through. The alien stumbled inside, its eyes wide with terror and relief. "Close it. They are coming," Zektar urged, urgency lacing its voice. Alex quickly shut the door and locked it once again, his breath heavy as he leaned against it, trying to process what was happening. Zektar's skin glistened with a sheen of sweat under the flashlight's beam. "They are hunting me," it said, its voice trembling with fear. "We need to barricade the door." "Who are they?" Alex asked, his mind racing as he searched for anything that could be used as a barricade. He remembered the heavy shelves and the stack of boxes in the back that could be used to fortify their position. "A group of invaders from my planet," Zektar explained quickly, glancing nervously at the door. "They are relentless. If they discover I am here, they will not hesitate to destroy everything." Alex's heart sank, the weight of the revelation crashing down on him. "So, they're not just here for you, they're here to take over?" "Yes," Zektar replied, urgency driving its words. "I managed to escape, but they will not stop until they have me back. We must protect ourselves." Realizing the gravity of the situation, Alex sprang into action. "Right, let's move." He gestured for Zektar to help him push a shelf against the door. The two of them strained against the weight, the shelf creaking as they managed to slide it into place. "This should at least slow them down," Alex said, breathing heavily. "They will find another way," Zektar warned, looking around the store with wide eyes. "We must make a plan. I know their tactics." Okay, Alex replied, trying to keep calm amid the chaos. "What do we do now?" Zektar took a deep breath, its alien features settling into a determined expression. "We need to create distractions. If they find us, we won't survive. We must work together." "Together," Alex echoed,
feeling a sense of camaraderie building between them.
It was strange how quickly they had gone from strangers to allies in a matter of minutes.
Alright, let's do this. What do you need me to do? Gather anything that can be used to make noise, Zektar instructed.
Tins, bottles, something that can draw their attention away from us. Nodding, Alex dashed to the snack aisle, grabbing bags of chips and cans of soda, anything that could make a ruckus. He quickly tossed them to Zektar, who began stacking them near the back of the store. We can set them off as a diversion, Zektar explained, its voice steadying as they worked together.
While they're distracted, we can find a way to contact your people, right? Alex asked, trying to keep a sense of hope alive.
Yes, but first we need to survive the night, Zektar replied, its tone grave.
If we can hold them off long enough, I might be able to send a signal. The urgency in Zektar's words fueled Alex's determination.
He realized this was no longer just a job, this was a fight for their lives. As he gathered more supplies, an idea sparked in his mind.
What if we also create a barrier from the inside? If we can secure the back exit, we might have a chance to escape.
Zektar's eyes widened at the suggestion.
A wise notion.
We can use the stockroom to block off the back, then monitor the front.
Alright, let's move. Alex exclaimed, feeling a surge of adrenaline as they prepared for the fight ahead.
The mundane routine of managing a convenience store had transformed into a battle for survival, and Alex was ready to face whatever came next. As they worked together, Alex couldn't help but feel a bond forming with Zektar. They were two beings from vastly different worlds, yet here they were, united by a common goal. Stay close, Alex instructed as they made their way towards the back of the store. He could hear the faint echoes of footsteps outside, the dread creeping back into his mind as he focused on the task at hand.
If they come through that door, we need to be ready.
Ready, Zektar affirmed, its resolve shining through the fear. In that moment, Alex realized they were no longer just a clerk and an alien, they were warriors, standing together against the unknown. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Alex said, feeling a strange sense of normalcy in the chaos. As they prepared for the imminent confrontation, one thing was clear, they would fight together, no matter what lay ahead. As Zektar and Alex secured the makeshift barricade at the back of the store, Alex's mind was racing. He had always thought of his job as mundane, a simple routine that involved restocking shelves and ringing up customers. But now, as he faced an actual alien invasion, everything felt surreal. Zektar's frantic breaths filled the silence, punctuating the tension that hung thick in the air. Listen, Zektar began, its voice trembling slightly.
They're organized. If they find me, they'll do everything to take me back. We need to prepare for that. Alex nodded, adrenaline coursing through him. Okay, tell me what we need to do.
Zektar glanced around the store, observing the various items that could potentially be used as defenses.
We need to create distractions. It's the only way to buy us time. Distractions? Alex echoed, trying to wrap his head around the idea. What do you mean? Anything loud, things that can make noise.
If we set off alarms or create a commotion, we can lure them away from our location, Zektar explained, its multiple eyes darting nervously toward the door.
We can use the items in the store. Alex felt a flicker of hope. Alright. I'll grab some stuff. What else?
Zektar hesitated, then pointed to a rack filled with soda cans.
Those. And maybe the bagged snacks.
They can explode and create noise, drawing them away from us.
Got it.
Alex dashed toward the snack aisle, his heart racing with the thought of what was at stake. He quickly grabbed several bags of chips and arms full of soda cans, placing them in a pile near Zektar. I think we can rig some of these to go off at different intervals, Zektar suggested, its eyes reflecting a mix of fear and determination.
If we create enough sound, it might confuse them.
Okay, let's do it, Alex said, his voice steadying. He could feel a strange sense of purpose surging through him. This was no longer just about closing up the store, it was about survival. As they began to set up their makeshift traps, Zektar shared more about the situation. The invaders are ruthless. They won't hesitate to destroy everything in their path to get to me. They're not just after me, they want to conquer this area.
Alex swallowed hard, the reality of the situation settling in. Conquer? You mean they want to take over this planet?
Yes. My planet has struggled against them for years, Zektar explained, its voice strained.
And now they've found a way to cross into your territory. The weight of Zektar's words sent a chill down Alex's spine.
So, if we don't stop them, they will wreak havoc. We can't let that happen, Zektar replied, its tone urgent.
Panic flickered in Alex's chest, but he pushed it down. All right, then we'll stop them.
Together. Zektar's eyes widened, and for a moment, Alex saw a flicker of hope in the alien's gaze.
Together, it echoed, a small smile breaking through its anxiety.
They quickly gathered the supplies, stacking the cans near the front of the store. Alex's hands fumbled with the bags of chips as he thought about how they could make them explode. Maybe we can create a chain reaction, he suggested.
If we set one off, the others will follow.
Yes.
That's a brilliant idea. Zektar exclaimed, its voice rising with excitement.
We can place them strategically around the store. If they come in, we can lure them toward the noise.
Let's get to it, then.
Alex felt invigorated by the newfound collaboration, the mundane world of late-night convenience store shifts fading away, replaced by a sense of urgency and camaraderie. As they worked, a loud crash echoed from outside, shaking the store and sending a rush of adrenaline through Alex.
He glanced at Zektar, who looked terrified. Do you think they're here? Alex asked, his heart pounding in his chest.
They could be, Zektar replied, its voice barely above a whisper.
We need to finish quickly.
They hurriedly rigged the bags and cans, using tape and bits of wire found in the stockroom. This should work, Alex said, stepping back to survey their handiwork. Now we just need to wait for the right moment.
What do we do if they break in?
Zektar asked, its eyes wide with concern. Stay close, Alex said, trying to project confidence. We'll stick together. If we have to fight, we'll fight. But for now, we need to be quiet and listen. They crouched behind the counter, tension mounting as they waited. The sounds of chaos from outside grew louder, a cacophony of distant explosions and shouts.
Alex's heart raced. He could feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins, heightening his senses.
Zektar remained close, its presence a strange comfort amid the looming danger. Suddenly, the door rattled violently, and Alex's breath caught in his throat.
What was that? He whispered urgently. Zektar peered around the edge of the counter, its alien features tense.
I can't tell, but we have to be ready. The rattling intensified, and Alex could hear voices outside, muffled but unmistakably threatening.
We need to act fast, he said, adrenaline pushing him into action. Get ready to trigger the distractions. Zektar nodded, its resolve firm. On my count. Alex felt a sense of urgency. 3, 2, 1.
With a swift movement, they set off the first bag of chips, the noise echoing through the store. The sound of crinkling plastic followed, and they both held their breath, listening for any response.
What does it sound like? Zektar asked, its voice a whisper.
Just the sound of the chips, Alex replied, his heart racing.
But I think it worked.
Just then, a loud crash came from the front of the store, followed by a guttural roar that made Alex's skin crawl. They're coming, he shouted, adrenaline surging through him.
Get ready! Zektar yelled, its expression a mix of fear and determination.
Alex grabbed a soda can, ready to defend himself, as the door slammed open, revealing shadowy figures in the dim light. The invaders had arrived, and their determination to find Zektar was palpable in the air. They had to act fast. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Alex shouted as they prepared to face the impending chaos of the invasion.
In that moment, Alex felt a rush of clarity.
This was more than just a job, it was a fight for survival, and he was ready to face whatever came next, standing shoulder to shoulder with his alien ally. As they fortified the store with makeshift barricades of canned goods and shelves, the air thickened with tension.
Alex and Zektar worked quickly, their hands moving with urgency as the sounds of chaos outside grew louder.
The store, once a mundane backdrop for late-night shifts, had transformed into a battleground. Outside, the distant rumble of explosions echoed through the air, punctuated by the screams of those caught in the crossfire.
"Do you think they'll come here?" Alex asked, trying to keep the tremor out of his voice.
He glanced at the fortified front entrance, a mix of fear and determination churning in his gut.
Zektar nodded,
its large, expressive eyes scanning the shadows beyond the flickering neon lights of the store's sign.
"They will. We must be ready."
A sudden blast erupted nearby, sending vibrations through the floor and causing a few items to rattle precariously on their shelves. Alex jumped, adrenaline coursing through him. He had never been in a situation like this before, and the weight of responsibility felt heavier than any shift he had ever worked. "We can't let them get in," he said, his voice more resolute than he felt. The alien's presence beside him offered a flicker of hope, a reminder that he wasn't alone in this fight. "Let's set up the distractions," Zektar suggested, reaching for some of the bags of chips they had rigged earlier.
"We need to lure them away from the entrance."
"Right," Alex replied, his heart pounding.
"I'll grab some soda cans."
"They'll make noise if we drop them." They worked in tandem, Zektar placing the bags strategically while Alex prepped the cans. As they moved, a series of sharp sounds, thuds, crashes, and distant shouts filled the air, reminding them of the urgency of their situation.
"Do you hear that?" Zektar whispered, its voice tense.
"Yes, they're getting closer," Alex said, his stomach tightening. The thought of the invaders breaking through filled him with dread, but he knew they didn't have the luxury of fear.
With a determined nod, they set their traps.
Each bag of chips was a potential explosion of sound, a beacon to draw the invaders' attention away from their vulnerable position. "This should work," Alex muttered, stepping back to survey their handiwork. "We need to stay close to the entrance," Zektar urged, its alien features etched with worry.
"If they come, we can't let them find us separated."
"Agreed," Alex said. They crouched behind the counter, their breathing synchronized as they listened intently to the sounds from outside.
The chaotic noise escalated, a symphony of destruction that sent shivers down Alex's spine.
The distant cries of panic echoed through the streets, and he felt a pang of guilt for being safe inside while others were in danger.
"What if they get in?"
Alex asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "If they do, we fight," Zektar replied, its voice steady despite the fear flickering in its eyes.
"We protect this place. It's our home now." In that moment, Alex felt a surge of resolve.
This wasn't just about survival, it was about standing up against the chaos that threatened to consume them. "You're right. We'll protect it together." As they waited, the door rattled violently, causing Alex's heart to leap into his throat.
"What was that?" he whispered urgently. Zektar peered over the edge of the counter, its body tense and alert.
"I can't tell, but we have to be ready."
The rattling intensified, and Alex's instincts kicked in. "Get ready to trigger the distractions," he instructed, adrenaline flooding his system. Zektar nodded, its expression serious. "On my count. 3, 2, 1.
With a swift movement, they set off the first bag of chips. The sound of crinkling plastic echoed, breaking the tense silence of the store. They both held their breaths, waiting for a response.
"What does it sound like?" Zektar asked, its voice low and cautious.
"Just the sound of the chips, but I think it worked," Alex replied, a mix of hope and fear running through him. Just then, a loud crash came from the front of the store, followed by a guttural roar that made Alex's skin crawl. "They're coming," he shouted, adrenaline surging through him.
"Get ready!" Zektar yelled, its alien features a mix of fear and determination.
As the door slammed open, shadowy figures poured into the store, their menacing forms illuminated by the flickering lights. Alex felt panic rise within him, but he fought to push it down. This was it, the moment they had been preparing for. "Remember, stay close," he shouted, gripping a soda can tightly in his hands.
Zektar stood beside him, its alien form poised to fight.
"We will protect each other." With a defiant shout, Alex hurled the soda can at the nearest invader, the can striking the creature and sending it stumbling back.
Zektar followed suit, using its unique abilities to create distractions that sent the invaders reeling. Chaos erupted in the store as the invaders struggled to regain their footing.
Alex felt a rush of adrenaline, the thrill of the fight igniting a fire within him. "If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel," he shouted, hoping to rally their spirits even in the face of danger. They moved with purpose, dodging attacks and countering with their own. Every moment felt electric, the stakes higher than ever as they fought for their lives and for the sanctuary that had unexpectedly become their home. In the midst of the chaos, Alex glanced at Zektar, and for a brief moment, their eyes met, sharing an understanding of the challenge ahead. They were more than just allies now, they were friends bound by the fight for survival. As the battle raged on, Alex realized that he could no longer view his job as mundane. The stakes were real, and every second counted. Together, they would face whatever came next, united in their determination to protect the store and each other. And as the invaders pushed forward, Alex felt a sense of purpose swell within him. This was their moment, and he was ready to rise to the occasion. The invaders burst through the door, their grotesque forms illuminated by the flickering lights of the convenience store. Alex's heart raced as he gripped a soda can tightly, ready to defend the small sanctuary that had unexpectedly become his home. The chaotic noise outside had morphed into an overwhelming cacophony, and the adrenaline coursing through his veins sharpened his senses. Zektar stood beside him, its body tense and poised for action. "We need to hold our ground," the alien shouted, its voice a mix of fear and determination. "If they get in, we must fight back with everything we have." "Right," Alex exclaimed, his voice steady despite the tension in the air. "Just follow my lead." He had never imagined himself in a situation like this, but with Zektar by his side, he felt a surge of confidence. As the first invader stumbled into the store, Alex hurled the soda can with all his might. It struck the creature square in the chest, causing it to stagger back with a surprised grunt. "Yes! It worked," he shouted, feeling a rush of triumph. "Good throw!" Zektar praised, quickly following up with its own attack. The alien raised its hands, creating a burst of energy that sent another invader crashing into the shelves, sending snacks flying and creating a small avalanche of chips and candy. "Let's keep it going!" Alex yelled, feeling the thrill of the fight. Each moment was a blend of chaos and adrenaline, and he found himself laughing as he dodged an incoming strike. "This is insane," he shouted, exhilarated by the unexpected turn of events. "Insane, but effective," Zektar replied, its alien features alight with determination. They were working together, relying on each other's strengths as the invaders pushed forward. The store felt smaller with every passing second, and the invaders were relentless. Alex spotted a stack of cleaning supplies nearby and had an idea. "I'll set a trap," he called out to Zektar. Without waiting for a response, he sprinted toward the supplies. He grabbed a bucket and a bottle of cleaning solution. "If I can just get them to slip," he muttered, glancing back at Zektar, whose eyes were wide with understanding. "Be careful," Zektar warned, unleashing another energy blast that knocked another invader off its feet. "I got this," Alex shouted back, positioning the bucket strategically near the entrance. He poured some of the cleaner onto the floor, creating a slick surface that would catch the invaders off guard. "Now, let's lure them in." With a focused look, Alex shouted, "Hey, over here," waving his arms to grab the attention of the nearest invader. It turned, its glare fixed on him, and charged forward. "Now!" Zektar yelled, and they both sprang into action. Just as the invader reached the entrance, it slipped on the cleaning solution, its legs flying out from under it as it crashed to the ground. Alex couldn't help but laugh. "It worked! They're falling for it! Keep it up!" Zektar encouraged, excitement fueling their actions. "We can turn this around." As more invaders poured in, Alex and Zektar worked seamlessly together, combining their strengths. Alex used his knowledge of the store layout to navigate the chaos while Zektar harnessed its alien abilities to create distractions and energy blasts. Each successful maneuver built their confidence, and they felt an unspoken bond forming between them. "This is wild," Alex called out, dodging a blow from an invader and countering with a well-aimed kick. Who would have thought a convenience store would be the battleground for an alien invasion? Sometimes, the most unexpected places become the most important, Zektar replied, its voice steady even amidst the chaos. We're fighting for our lives in this place. We can't let them take it. The store trembled as explosions rocked the exterior, and the lights flickered dangerously. Alex could hear the distant sounds of screams and destruction, but he pushed the fear down, focusing on the task at hand. We have to hold them off. They can't get to the back. Zektar nodded, determination etched on its features. We'll protect this place together. Alex's heart raced as he took a deep breath, rallying his thoughts. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he shouted, his voice rising above the clamor. He didn't know why he said it, perhaps it was an instinct to connect with anyone who might be watching, anyone who could understand their fight. The invaders regrouped, their numbers growing as they strategized. Alex and Zektar quickly assessed the situation. We need a plan, Alex urged, glancing at the shelves piled high with merchandise. If we can create a barricade. Good idea. Zektar replied, already moving to help Alex. They worked quickly, shoving shelves and products to form a makeshift barrier. The sounds of the invaders grew louder, and Alex could feel the tension in the air thickening. We have to be ready for when they come through, Alex said, his voice firm. We can't let them break through this line. Agreed, Zektar said, its expression serious. We'll fight for every inch of this store. It's more than just a convenience store now, it's our fortress. The invaders finally charged, crashing against the barricade, and Alex felt the impact reverberate through the shelves they had stacked. He braced himself, adrenaline surging again. Hold the line, he shouted, feeling a surge of energy coursing through him. Together! Zektar rallied, its eyes gleaming with resolve. They held their ground, pushing back against the invaders with everything they had. It was a battle of wits and strength, a chaotic dance of survival. Every moment felt electric, and Alex couldn't help but feel alive in the midst of the chaos. Together, they were more than just a clerk and an alien, they were a team, a force to be reckoned with. And as the invaders pressed forward, Alex knew they were ready to face anything that came their way. Together, they would stand against the invasion, united in their resolve to protect their home. The atmosphere inside the convenience store shifted dramatically as Alex and Zektar prepared for the worst. The sound of chaos outside was deafening, with explosions shaking the very walls of their makeshift fortress. Alex could feel the adrenaline coursing through his veins, pushing him to focus as he looked to Zektar, whose expression was a mix of determination and fear. Zektar, what are we facing exactly? Alex asked, trying to keep his voice steady despite the turmoil. They're not just soldiers, Zektar replied, its voice low and urgent. They're a specialized force from my planet, sent to eliminate anyone who stands in their way. They want to capture me and take me back, but I won't let that happen. Alex nodded, feeling a surge of loyalty toward his newfound friend. We'll stop them together. They can't take you while I'm here. Zektar's eyes softened slightly, and for a brief moment, there was an understanding between them that transcended words. They were not just a clerk and an alien, they were allies in a fight for survival. Suddenly, there was a loud crash as an invader slammed against the barricade they had hastily constructed. The shelves rattled, and Alex clenched his fists, readying himself for what was to come. Get ready, he shouted, his heart pounding in rhythm with the approaching danger. Let's show them what we're made of. Zektar responded, channeling energy into its hands, ready to unleash it at a moment's notice. The first invader lunged through the opening they had created, a massive figure cloaked in dark armor. Without hesitation, Alex swung a nearby broom, aiming for its legs. The broom connected, sending the invader stumbling backward. Nice shot! Zektar cheered as it released a burst of energy that struck the invader squarely in the chest, causing it to fall. But more were coming. Alex could see them through the broken windows, their numbers swelling like a tide. This is just the beginning, he yelled, glancing at the alien tech Zektar had brought. What else can we use? Trust me, Zektar said, its voice steady despite the chaos. I'll guide you. Just follow my lead. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the weight of the moment. If you're enjoying this story, make sure to subscribe to the channel, he shouted, hoping to reach anyone listening out there, as if their support could somehow bolster their defenses. The next wave of invaders surged forward, and Alex felt a rush of determination. He grabbed a box of snacks and hurled it at the approaching foes, causing a distraction just long enough for Zektar to charge up another energy blast. The glow from Zektar's hands illuminated the store, casting eerie shadows on the walls. "Now!" Zektar shouted, releasing the energy blast just as the invaders reached the barricade. The blast hit two of them directly, sending them sprawling back with cries of surprise. "Keep it coming," Alex urged, grabbing a shopping cart and pushing it toward the door, intending to create another barrier. It crashed against the invaders, catching one off guard and knocking it to the ground. "Excellent!" Zektar cheered, its enthusiasm infectious in the face of danger. "You're a natural at this." Alex felt a rush of pride. "Well, I never thought I'd be in a situation like this," he replied, grinning despite the circumstances. Who knew a convenience store could turn into a battlefield? As they fought side by side, an unexpected camaraderie formed, and they began to anticipate each other's moves. Zektar would create distractions with energy blasts, while Alex used the store's layout to set traps for the invaders. They were a team, and with every invader they took down, their confidence grew. But then, out of the corner of his eye, Alex noticed a larger figure looming behind the others. "Zektar, we've got company," he warned, pointing at the monstrous leader of the invaders. It was taller, more imposing, and its armor gleamed ominously in the flickering light. "Stay focused, Alex. We need to outsmart it," Zektar urged, its eyes narrowing as it assessed the situation. The leader roared, rallying the remaining invaders. "You cannot hide. Surrender now, and I may spare your lives." "Not a chance," Alex shouted back, feeling a wave of defiance wash over him. "We're not going anywhere." With renewed determination, Zektar and Alex worked to fortify their position. They stacked more shelves against the door, using everything they could find to create a barrier. "We have to hold them off until we can find a way to escape," Zektar shouted as it charged another energy attack. "Right," Alex replied, moving quickly to grab anything that could help. He noticed a fire extinguisher on the wall and got an idea. "We can use the extinguisher," he exclaimed. "It'll create a cloud of smoke. We can use it to escape or confuse them." "Do it," Zektar urged, preparing to unleash another blast. Alex grabbed the extinguisher and aimed it toward the entrance, pulling the trigger. A thick cloud of white smoke billowed out, filling the area and obscuring their vision. The invaders stumbled and coughed, momentarily disoriented. "Now's our chance," Zektar cried, its voice ringing clear amidst the chaos. "We need to move." They pushed through the smoke, working together to fight against the confusion the invaders were experiencing. Alex could hear the shouts and grunts of the soldiers, and he felt a surge of hope. Maybe they could actually fend them off. But just as they thought they had gained the upper hand, the ground shook violently. "What was that?" Alex gasped, bracing himself against the nearest shelf as it threatened to topple. "It's them!" Zektar shouted, eyes wide. "They're bringing in heavier artillery." Alex's heart raced. "We need to make a stand. We can't let them break through." Zektar nodded, its resolve unyielding. "Together, we can do this. We'll protect what's ours." The determination in their voices mingled with the tension in the air, and they braced themselves for the next wave of invaders. As the chaos continued around them, Alex felt a sense of purpose he had never known before. He and Zektar stood side by side, ready to face whatever came through that door, united by a bond forged in battle and a shared commitment to fight for their survival. They were not just human and alien, they were warriors with a common goal. And together, they would face the invasion head-on, refusing to be mere victims of circumstance. As the battle raged on, Alex's heart pounded in his chest, each beat echoing the chaos surrounding him. The imposing figure of the invader leader loomed larger than life, its armored frame glistening in the sporadic flicker of the store's fluorescent lights. Alex's stomach twisted in knots, a mix of fear and adrenaline coursing through him. He had never imagined that his mundane life as a clerk would spiral into a fight for survival.
Zektar, we need to strategically plan our next move.
Alex shouted over the din of clashing bodies and shattering glass. The energy in the air felt electric, charged with the urgency of their situation.
Agreed.
We have to split their attention, Zektar replied, its voice steady despite the chaos.
It had transformed from a nervous alien into a fierce warrior by Alex's side.
I'll create a diversion while you find something to use against them. Alex nodded, suddenly filled with a sense of purpose. He glanced around the store, scanning for anything that could turn the tide of this chaotic battle. His eyes fell upon the aisles filled with various oddities and products, everything from energy drinks to snack foods. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind.
Okay, I've got it, he exclaimed.
I'll grab the soda display.
If I can knock it over, it'll create a barrier and slow them down.
Perfect.
I'll distract them. Zektar shouted, charging up another energy blast, the light illuminating its determined face.
The alien pointed its hands toward the leader, releasing a powerful surge that hit the ground in front of the invaders, sending shockwaves through the floor and causing them to stumble back in surprise.
As the invaders momentarily lost their footing, Alex sprinted toward the soda aisle.
He could feel the adrenaline surging through his veins, pushing him to act quickly. With a firm grip, he shoved the entire display, watched the cans topple and spill across the floor like a cascade of colorful marbles. The sound was thunderous, reverberating through the store, and as he hoped, it caught the attention of the invaders.
Now! Zektar shouted, and Alex could see the alien ready, preparing another blast.
The soda display had created a significant barrier, causing confusion among the invaders who were now slipping and sliding on the slick floor.
Keep going, Zektar!
Alex cheered, feeling a rush of excitement. The invaders were disoriented, and for the first time, they had the upper hand. Zektar sent another blast towards the group, and Alex jumped into action, using the moment of distraction to grab a few more items, canned goods, a broom, anything that could serve as a weapon or tool for their defense. The leader, regaining its composure, snarled and pointed an armored finger towards them.
You think you can hide behind your petty tricks? We will crush you. Not today.
Alex shouted back defiantly, brandishing a can of soda like a makeshift weapon.
This is our store.
He felt a sense of empowerment surge through him, a stark contrast to the mundane days spent behind the counter.
Zektar nodded in agreement, its gaze fierce. Together, we can defeat them. Focus on their weaknesses.
The alien's determination fueled Alex's resolve, and he found himself feeling a sense of camaraderie he had never experienced before. The invaders, now furious, charged towards them, but Alex and Zektar were ready. Alex hurled a can at the closest invader, the impact causing it to stagger back. Zektar unleashed another energy blast, this time hitting the ground in front of the leader. The explosion sent debris flying, temporarily obscuring the leader's view.
Now's our chance. Alex shouted, rushing forward to grab a broom.
He swung it at the nearest invader, knocking it off balance.
We can't let them regroup. Keep pushing. Zektar yelled, launching another blast as they fought back with everything they had.
Alex felt the adrenaline coursing through him, instinct taking over as he maneuvered around the store, using the aisles as cover.
In the midst of the chaos, Alex and Zektar exchanged glances filled with determination and encouragement.
They were no longer just a clerk and an alien, they were allies fighting against a common enemy.
Suddenly, the leader charged, its eyes locked on Alex.
You will pay for your defiance, it bellowed, charging forward with terrifying speed.
Zektar! Alex yelled, panic creeping into his voice. It's coming for me. Stay calm.
Zektar shouted, focusing its energy.
I'll distract it.
With a fierce shout, Zektar released a concentrated blast towards the leader, forcing it to dodge and redirect its attention. Alex seized the moment, grabbing a nearby shelf and shoving it toward the charging invader. The shelf crashed to the ground, creating a wall of products that served as an impromptu barricade.
Nice move!
Zektar cheered, admiration shining in its eyes.
Thanks! Now let's finish this. Alex replied, feeling a surge of confidence.
The two of them, united against their foes, were an unstoppable force. As they fought back, the atmosphere in the store shifted. The sounds of battle mingled with unexpected laughter. Alex stumbled as a can of soda rolled under his foot, causing him to nearly lose balance. He couldn't help but chuckle at the absurdity of it all. Who would have thought a convenience store could turn into a battlefield? Indeed. Zektar replied, dodging an attack and sending a blast that knocked another invader off its feet. But we will prevail. With renewed energy, Alex and Zektar pressed forward, fighting side by side. The invaders were beginning to falter under the pressure of their combined efforts. Each move felt more coordinated, more instinctual, as they began to understand each other's fighting styles. Suddenly, the leader roared again, rallying its troops. You will fall before us. This is your end. Not if we can help it. Alex shouted back defiantly. We're not going down without a fight. The tension in the air thickened as the leader charged again, its massive form barreling forward. Alex could feel the ground shake beneath him, but he stood firm, ready to defend his ally in the store that had become their sanctuary. Zektar, now! Alex yelled, and they both launched their attacks simultaneously. Alex hurled a last can of soda while Zektar unleashed a final energy blast. The combined forces hit the leader square in the chest, and for a moment, time seemed to stand still. The leader staggered back, its armor cracking under the pressure. A look of disbelief washed over its face as it struggled to maintain its balance. Alex felt a rush of exhilaration. They were winning. Keep going. Zektar urged, and with that, they pressed forward, determined to seize the moment of victory. They were no longer just fighting for survival, they were fighting for their friendship, their bond forged in the heat of battle. As the leader reeled, Alex couldn't help but feel a spark of hope. They were going to win this fight. Let's do this, he yelled, ready to face whatever came next, united in their stand against the invaders. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps the adventure alive. In the aftermath of the fierce battle, shadows lingered in the store, remnants of the chaos that had just unfolded. Alex and Zektar stood in the dim light, panting and bruised, their adrenaline slowly ebbing away as the reality of what they had accomplished began to settle in. The wreckage around them, scattered goods, broken shelves, and remnants of their makeshift defenses, was a testament to their struggle. Did we really just do that? Alex asked incredulously, looking around at the devastation. His heart was still racing, but a sense of triumph began to blossom within him. They had fought back against an invasion, a battle that felt surreal in the confines of a convenience store that had once been just a mundane part of his life. Zektar nodded slowly, its large, expressive eyes reflecting a mixture of disbelief and gratitude. Yes, we did. But at what cost? The alien's voice was heavy with concern as it surveyed the damage. Our home is in ruins. Alex dropped to his knees, picking up a can that had rolled across the floor. We'll rebuild this place. Together, he said, his voice steadying. He glanced at Zektar, who seemed to draw strength from his words. We survived, and that's what matters. We're still here. Picking through the debris, Alex felt a connection to the store that he had never experienced before. This place, once just a job, now held memories of courage and friendship forged in the furnace of conflict. Each piece of wreckage told a story of laughter amid danger, of trust built under fire, and of an extraordinary bond between a human and an alien. Your determination is remarkable, Alex, Zektar said, its voice softer now. I did not expect such resilience from a human. The admiration in its tone made Alex smile amid the chaos. I didn't expect to be fighting aliens in my convenience store either, he replied with a chuckle, shaking his head at the absurdity of it all. But I guess life has a funny way of throwing surprises at you. As they began to clean up, the reality of their situation began to hit harder. The store was damaged, and they had narrowly escaped with their lives. What do we do next? Alex asked, glancing at Zektar. Are there more invaders out there? Should we be worried? Zektar paused, its expression pensive. The leader is gone, but the conflict may not be over. We must remain vigilant. It turned toward Alex, the urgency in its voice rising. But first, we need to assess our situation.
We cannot let our guard down. Alex nodded, feeling the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders.
He had always thought of himself as just a clerk, but now he felt a flicker of something more, a protector, a fighter for not just himself but for someone who had become a friend.
Let's check the security footage. Maybe we can see if there are any other threats lurking around.
They moved to the back room where the security monitors flickered, casting an eerie light in the otherwise dark space. As Alex scrolled through the cameras, he felt a knot of tension forming in his stomach.
Nothing yet.
Just the aftermath of our little showdown, he muttered, frustration seeping into his voice. Zektar stood beside him, the alien's presence oddly comforting amidst the chaos. We should also plan for repairs. This store is our stronghold now, it suggested, its tone shifting to practical.
I can assist you with alien technology. It can help reinforce the structure.
I never thought I'd be repairing a convenience store with alien tech, Alex said, a grin breaking through his worried expression.
But I'm all for it. Let's make this place a fortress.
The idea sparked an energy within him, a sense of purpose that was invigorating. As they began to formulate a plan, the atmosphere around them lightened, the camaraderie they had built during the battle spilling over into this moment of restoration. They worked side by side, laughter punctuating their conversations as they shared ideas and stories about their respective worlds. Alex found himself opening up, sharing memories of his life, the mundane moments that had defined him before this adventure began. You know, I used to think my life was boring, Alex admitted, chuckling at the irony.
Now I can't imagine going back to just scanning groceries and wiping down counters.
Zektar tilted its head, intrigued.
What do you mean?
I mean, I felt trapped in this routine, day in and day out.
But now? I've fought an alien invasion. I've made a friend. It's like I've come alive.
Alex's enthusiasm was palpable, and for the first time, he saw Zektar's eyes shine with understanding. Sometimes, it takes an extraordinary event to reveal our true potential, Zektar replied thoughtfully.
You have shown great courage, Alex.
This bond we share has transformed us both.
Their laughter echoed through the store, a stark contrast to the earlier chaos.
But just as the mood began to lift, a sudden noise from outside shattered the moment, a low rumble that reverberated through the walls. Both Alex and Zektar froze, their smiles fading as they exchanged worried glances.
What was that? Alex whispered, fear creeping back in.
Zektar's expression turned serious. It could be more invaders, or perhaps the remnants of the battle.
We must be cautious.
Moving quietly to the nearest window, Alex peered outside, heart racing.
The night was still, but the unease lingered in the air, thickening the atmosphere around them.
I don't see anything, he murmured, trying to calm himself.
Maybe it was just the aftermath of the explosions.
Zektar joined him, scanning the dark street.
We cannot take any chances. Let us continue our preparations and remain alert.
Alex nodded, turning back to the security monitor.
You're right. Let's finish what we started.
Determined, he began to map out their next steps with Zektar's guidance. They were no longer just a clerk and an alien, they were a team, bound by their experiences and a newfound friendship that could withstand even the darkest of nights. As they dove back into their work, Alex felt a renewed sense of purpose. This store was no longer just a job, it was a battleground, a sanctuary, and a testament to their resilience. He was grateful for Zektar's presence, realizing that they were stronger together than they could ever be alone. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Your support keeps the adventure alive and ensures that Alex and Zektar continue their journey together. As dawn broke, the first rays of sunlight filtered through the shattered windows of the intergalactic convenience store. The remnants of the previous night's chaos lay strewn about, casting a stark contrast against the vibrant new day. Alex Rodriguez stood amidst the scattered debris, his heart heavy yet hopeful as he assessed the damage. Zektar, beside him, had taken a moment to collect its thoughts, the alien's unique features softening in the warm morning light. It's hard to believe we made it through that, Alex said, his voice carrying a mix of disbelief and gratitude. The night had transformed him, and as he surveyed the wreckage, he felt a surge of determination to rebuild.
We not only survived, but we also fought back. Together. Zektar nodded, the alien's large eyes shimmering with a glimmer of pride.
You displayed remarkable courage, Alex. I have seen many battles, but your resourcefulness was extraordinary. The sincerity in Zektar's voice made Alex feel a swell of warmth. It was a strange feeling, this bond they had formed, a friendship forged in the fires of conflict. They began to clean up the store, their movements fluid and cooperative. Alex picked up a broken shelf, and Zektar used its alien technology to levitate the pieces of shattered glass, making the task seem almost effortless. I never thought my life would involve cleaning up after an invasion, Alex joked, trying to lighten the mood. I was just a clerk, but now I feel like I'm part of something bigger. Zektar paused, its expression contemplative. Your role is significant, Alex. You have proven that even the most mundane existence can hold extraordinary potential. The alien's words resonated deeply with Alex, echoing the transformation he felt within himself. He had ventured beyond the confines of the predictable life he had once led, and now, he was a protector, a friend, and a fighter. As they worked, Alex couldn't shake the feeling of anticipation hanging in the air. Do you think it's really over? That the invaders won't come back, he asked, glancing at Zektar, who remained focused on their task. The question lingered, a shadow of doubt that crept into his mind. Zektar paused, looking out through the broken window at the peaceful street beyond. We cannot be certain of what the future holds. But we must be vigilant. This experience has taught us that danger can arise when we least expect it. Alex sighed, feeling the weight of uncertainty settle on his shoulders. Yeah, no kidding. I guess we need to be ready for anything. He picked up a broom and began to sweep up the remnants of the battle, feeling the familiar rhythm of the work soothe his nerves. At least we have each other. Indeed, Zektar replied, its voice a gentle reassurance. You are not alone in this fight, Alex. We are partners in every sense. With renewed vigor, they continued to clean and repair. The store transformed under their care, slowly coming back to life. As they worked, Alex shared stories of his life before the invasion, his mundane routines, the strange customers he encountered, and the dreams he had once harbored. I was just going through the motions, he admitted. Now, I'm not sure I could ever go back to that life. There's something exhilarating about being on the front lines. Zektar listened intently, sharing tales of its home planet, the vibrant cultures, and the conflicts that had shaped its existence. I once thought of my work as essential only for survival, but now I see it as a way to connect with others, to build relationships that transcend boundaries, it said, its voice tinged with emotion. They laughed and joked, the tension from the night before slowly dissipating like the morning mist. But just as they began to feel a sense of normalcy return, a sudden noise shattered the calm. A low rumbling echoed from outside, causing both Alex and Zektar to freeze, their hearts racing in unison. What was that? Alex whispered, anxiety creeping back into his voice. Zektar's expression turned serious. It could be remnants of the battle. We must remain vigilant. Moving cautiously to the nearest window, Alex peered outside. The street was quiet, bathed in the soft light of dawn, but a lingering unease gnawed at him. I don't see anything out of the ordinary, he murmured, trying to convince himself. Maybe it was just the aftershocks from the explosions. Zektar joined him, scanning the area with its keen alien senses. We cannot take any chances. Let us remain prepared. We have come too far to let our guard down now. Alex nodded, feeling the adrenaline spike again. Right. Let's finish cleaning up and reinforce the store. If there's a threat out there, we need to be ready. They resumed their work with renewed urgency, each movement deliberate and focused. As they fortified the store, they shared a sense of purpose that drove them forward. This place was no longer just a job for Alex, it was a shared sanctuary, a symbol of their resilience and friendship. By the way, Alex said, breaking the tension as they worked, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to comment about your favorite moment. I'd love to hear what parts resonated with you. Zektar looked at him, confusion etched on its face. Comment?
What is this comment you speak of? Alex chuckled, shaking his head. It's a human thing. When people hear our story, they can engage with it, share their thoughts. It's how we connect through our experiences. Zektar considered this for a moment. Then let us share our story, not just to recount our triumph, but to inspire others. We have faced great danger, but we have also forged a bond that transcends our differences. As they finished cleaning, the sun rose higher in the sky, casting a warm glow over the store. Alex felt a sense of hope blossoming within him. They had built something remarkable together, a partnership formed in the heat of battle, grounded in mutual respect and understanding. Whatever comes next, we'll face it together, Alex said, determination shining in his eyes. Zektar nodded, its presence beside him a comforting reminder that he was not alone in this fight. The adventure was far from over, and as they prepared for whatever lay ahead, they knew they would face it as allies, ready to tackle any challenges the universe would throw their way. As dawn broke over the intergalactic convenience store, the soft light poured through the grime-streaked windows, illuminating the remnants of the chaotic night. Alex stood amidst the scattered debris, remnants of the battle against the invaders, feeling a mix of exhaustion and relief wash over him. The store, which had been a humble refuge just hours before, was now a patchwork of memories, some terrifying, others strangely uplifting. He looked around, taking in the disarray that mirrored the turmoil inside him. The shelves were still stocked, though many items were askew, and there were signs of struggle, scattered products, a few broken displays, and the lingering scent of smoke mixed with burnt electronics. We've got quite the cleanup ahead of us, he mused, half to himself and half to Zektar, who was busy organizing a section of alien snacks that had somehow survived the onslaught. Zektar paused and turned, its large eyes reflecting a mix of amusement and resolve. Indeed, but every battle leaves its mark, does it not? It replied, its voice steady and comforting. This store has witnessed much, yet it stands. Perhaps that is what matters most. Alex nodded, appreciating the alien's perspective. You're right. And I think this place will always remind me of our friendship and what we accomplished together. He grabbed a broom and began to sweep up the remains of the night, the rhythmic sound of the bristles against the floor providing a meditative backdrop to his thoughts. As they worked side by side, the bond they had forged during the invasion solidified further. They shared stories, laughter, and reflections on the absurdities of their circumstances. You know, Alex began, looking over at Zektar as he swept, if you're enjoying this story, don't forget to comment about your favorite moment. It's been quite the adventure, and I want to hear what resonated with everyone. Zektar tilted its head, clearly pondering this new concept. Comments? I am still trying to grasp the significance of this commenting process. Is it a form of communication? Exactly. It's how people connect with each other's experiences, share their thoughts, and engage with stories. When we share our adventures, we're inviting others into our world. Alex leaned against the broom, a smile forming. And who knows? Maybe someone out there will find inspiration in what we've been through. Zektar's expression softened, a glimmer of understanding sparking in its eyes. Then let us share our tale, not just for ourselves but for others to learn and grow. Our encounter has taught me that connections can be forged in the most unexpected of places. They continued to clean, the workflow becoming a dance between the two of them, Zektar using its dexterous alien hands to pick up the heavier objects, while Alex tended to the smaller clutter. As they worked, they could hear the distant hum of the city outside, a reminder that life continued beyond the chaos they had just survived. I wonder what today will bring, Alex mused aloud, glancing out the window. The streets were beginning to fill with activity, other beings going about their daily routines. It's strange, isn't it? Just last night, we were fighting for our lives, and now the world looks so normal. Zektar nodded, its gaze fixed on the horizon. Normalcy is a fragile concept, Alex. It is often in moments of peace that we must remain vigilant, for we never know what lies just out of sight. Yeah, I guess it's about finding balance, Alex replied, leaning against the counter. We've been through a lot, and while I'm grateful to be alive, I can't help but feel a little on edge. What if they come back? They may try, Zektar said firmly, but together, we have proven that we can face any threat that arises. The bond we share transcends the barriers of species and experience.
With every word, Alex felt the weight of their shared experience solidify into something more, something profound.
I never thought I'd find a friend like you, Zektar.
You've changed my perspective on a lot of things.
And you have brought light to my darkened path, Zektar replied, a hint of warmth in its tone. Together, we can explore the vastness of our universe.
As they finished cleaning, Alex took a step back and surveyed the store. It looked better already, and the air felt lighter.
I think we did a pretty good job here, he said, a sense of pride swelling within him. This place feels like a new beginning.
Zektar smiled, the alien's expression radiating gratitude.
Indeed, it is. We have survived, and now we can thrive.
The alien turned serious for a moment, its tone shifting.
However, we must remain aware of potential threats. We should fortify our defenses and prepare for whatever may come next. Alex nodded, determination etched on his features. Right. Let's make sure this place is ready for anything.
I want to feel secure here, like it's our sanctuary. As they continued their preparations, the sun climbed higher in the sky, casting a hopeful glow over the store. The sounds of the city outside shifted, a new day dawning filled with possibilities. I can't wait to see what adventures await us next, Alex said, his excitement palpable.
I've got a feeling that this is just the beginning.
Indeed, Zektar replied, a glint of mischief in its eyes.
And if our next challenge involves more invaders, I trust we will face them with the same courage we demonstrated last night.
Absolutely, Alex grinned. And if we do, I'm ready to tackle it all with you by my side. With that, they secured the last of the defenses around the store, ensuring that they were prepared for anything the universe might throw at them. As they shared a moment of silent understanding, Alex felt a profound sense of hope. This wasn't just a store anymore, it was a symbol of their resilience and the connection they had forged against the odds. As they stood together, ready for whatever lay ahead, Alex took a deep breath and said, no matter what happens next, I'm grateful for this journey and everything we've learned. Here's to more adventures, more stories, and a friendship that knows no bounds. With smiles on their faces, they looked out into the brightening day, ready to embrace whatever came next, knowing they would face it together, hand in hand.